Hello and welcome to On Your Lane. This is the best place for ambitious people who are taking charge of their lives, making that income, making that impact, and living fulfilling lives. And today we're talking about why you must know your purpose. Yes, I talk about purpose a lot, and it's because of the impact it has personally had on me and how it transformed me, like from night to day. That is the transformation that I've experienced in my life, and it's really due to the fact that I understood my purpose. Knowing your purpose, why you exist, is a powerful thing because unless the purpose of a thing is known, abuse is imminent. I say that a lot because I think of just practical things. Like if I know about this planner and I know that it's for designing my day, but I use it for writing notes, it doesn't work. I've had people call me after getting the planner and they're saying, "Oh, the space is not enough for writing." I'm like, "That's not why it was designed. It wasn't designed for you to use it as a journal. It was designed to give you structure for your day. So it's a different design. If you take a spoon and say, "I want to cut bread with a spoon," you will have struggles with that. Maybe you could succeed, but it will take unnecessarily more effort than you need to take because you don't understand the purpose. And so, if I can give you examples of everything in this world that has a reason for existing, a picture frame looks a certain way, different from a mirror, and you position them differently because of the purpose they serve. It's the same thing. You need to be in some places and not in some places. You need to be doing some things and not some things because you have a purpose, right? And if you don't know your purpose, you can be everywhere. And you get to the end of your life and you're like, I don't know what I did with that. I don't know where the time went. So that is why I push this topic a lot because I could talk about success, I could talk about discipline, I could talk about productivity, I could talk about leadership, I could talk about making money. But if you don't understand your purpose, all these things will be building over a crazy foundation, a weak foundation. Your purpose is your foundation. And when you know your purpose, it opens doors for you to build on it: wealth, impact, relationships. Everything else that you want to build will be built on the foundation of purpose. And this is why you must know your purpose. So the first thing is always like, how can I know my purpose? Well, your purpose is already within you. And so what I always say is, first of all, you have to understand that it is within you and it is your responsibility to seek it out. It's already within you. It's like when you have I give you a gold something and we keep covering it over time and you're like, I know the gold is in here, but the uncovering is what I have to do. It's the same thing. You have that gold within you and you have to uncover it. What do I mean? When you're born, people had ambitions for you and plans for you. And maybe your mom looked at you and said, "You're going to be a nurse," because I wanted to be a nurse. Oh, this is a nurse in our family. Oh, this is the annoying one. She's like a grandmother. Oh, this one is like everybody puts opinions on you, and when you get to be adolescent and your friends are putting judgments on you, putting things on you, like all through life everybody is going to put something on you. And then it becomes your role when you get the enlightenment to say, who am I? What is my purpose? Your role is to understand which things were added on you that you need to shake off. Right? You're like, okay, for me, it was like, I'm not stubborn as a person. I'm not unteachable. I am not prideful. I'm like, I was removing so many things which I had taken as my identity because that's what people called me. And so, from the pain of life, from the struggles, from the experiences of life, there are people who would say things like, I don't speak in public. Why? Because when they were 6 years old, they gave a speech in front of a class and everybody laughed at them and they're like, I'll never, ever speak again. So God could have called them and designed them to be great speakers, but because they have believed that at a young age, it becomes embedded in them. So your purpose is already within you. When I show you a mango seed, you don't have to do anything strange to it for it to bear mangoes, but you do need to plant it in the right environment. You do need to care for it, and soon enough, it will give you mango fruit, a lot of mango fruit. That's the same thing with us. We have a purpose within us with the right environment, with the right questions, with the right tools, with the right mindset. We'll be able to discover it and get confident and know, oh my goodness, this is why I exist. It makes sense. And when you find your purpose and know your purpose, you look back at your life and say, this is why it makes sense. It makes sense that I was always talking. It makes sense that I was acting. That's my story. It made sense that I was always writing. It made sense that I was always like in front of a class talking about something. It made sense now. When I was not operating my purpose, people were like, you talk too much. What is this, all this writing? Just do the analysis, the numbers. Too much words, too much this. When the words were for a reason, you see? So without knowing purpose, abuse is evident and you feel misplaced in life. So purpose is really important for that reason. So you have to expose yourself to the right environments. That's the second point. The first one is it's your responsibility for you to know your purpose. The second one is it's still your responsibility, right? To expose yourself to the right environment. What do you read? What do you watch? What do you spend time on? What do you let in? Okay, so every sense, what you eat, everything will affect you, will affect your being. So what you have to do is be able to say, what do I want to achieve? And you might not know it, all of it at the start, but you can have an indication. Say, it seems like I want to do something with teaching. I don't want to be a teacher exactly, but something with teaching. So you start exposing yourself to some things about teaching. And then you start learning about it and saying, oh, this is where I fit. Oh, I don't fit. Oh, maybe I made a mistake. When I started my journey, I thought I wanted to be like an agency owner to help people understand social media and build digital business. That's what I thought I wanted to do. But it was just because I was trying to discover. And so I saw my gift of communication as serving people with that. But as I started doing that, I realized, no, I don't like it. So I had to pivot within that and find another way. And the ways were showing themselves up because I was practicing and I was in the right environment. So your mind is powerful. It will make pathways where you didn't see pathways before. But if you feed garbage in there, all you do are soaps and gossip and lies and negative things, your mind will keep running that record. But if you start changing it and putting in positive things, enlightening things, things about your field, things about your interests, things about God, your mind will start running on those things and will show you a whole different set of options for your life. The next thing you have to do is guard your mind, guard your space. It's also still connected to choosing the right environment, but I wanted you to understand the guard part. That means you are aware of what you have and you're like, no, you can't come here, right? Guard it. Think of a door and there's a big bounce on that door. What do? They stand there because they know there'll be things that will be coming to try to get in. So they'll be like, no, no, no. So that's what guarding is. Guarding your mind because you understand the impact your mind has, like I explained. Guarding your circle because you understand the impact your friendships will have. Guarding the spaces you go to because you understand what you carry. You don't want your gold in places that will be contaminated in. Guard. That means you have discipline. That means you can switch that TV off because that's not right what you're watching. That means you can change that music and say, that's not what I should be doing. Guard it. It's your responsibility. Nobody's going to do it for you. And nobody's going to define what is going to help you or not. So it's up to you. The other thing you can do is to develop routines that consistently move you forward. Routines are powerful because they get automated over time, right? So you wake up at a certain time all the time. I've had those situations where I'm like, oh, I'm always up at this time, whether I like it or not, because over time it has been repeated, it has become my routine. So if your routines are constantly moving you away from the things that are good, things that you want to achieve, then it doesn't help because you're fighting against yourself, right? It's like you want to lose weight, but you keep eating the bad things. You keep eating the wrong things. It's like, what do you want? You're not going to get anywhere. It's the same thing with your purpose, right? If you know you want to change your purpose, that means you know there are some things. If you know you want to know your purpose, that means that's a call for change. That means you need to rebrand your life. That means there are some things you have to lay down. There are sacrifices to be made so that you can understand something new. So you trade your time for something else, right? And that means you are intentional about the routines you create. You're intentional about what you give your attention to. You're intentional. You're not just going with the flow. Oh, I used to do this a lot, going with the flow. I'm like, I just like to be surprised. Life will surprise you in a negative way because nobody's going to be like, okay, I'm surprised you with a business that is well built or whatever. I'll surprise you with a working relationship. No, if you go with the flow will take you to a negative place. Don't go with the flow. See your life and say, okay, what do I want to be doing on a day-to-day basis? That will help me be a better person. That will help me uncover my purpose. That will expose me to the things I love, I enjoy, I'm interested in. When you design your routines like that, you'll find that over time you look back and you'll be like, wow, I'm surprised how far I've come because I was doing the right things every day, just one right thing every day, moving towards the right direction. Routines are really, really powerful. The other thing you should do is get accountability and reviews. Yes, don't just set goals for yourself and okay, I want to know my purpose. Okay, whatever. No, be clear. What do you want to know? How? What are you going to do about it? And talk to somebody you can be accountable to. Invest even in that. Get a coach or get a friend, get a mentor, whatever it is. Somebody who is invested in your progress. And you sit down and say, you know what, this is what I said I'll do, but I haven't done it. Why? Because you have excuses. Because change and growth and knowing your purpose is going to put a demand on you, and you can have explanations in your own head and say, hey, I haven't had time. And your friend will be able to say, but you have been watching football like consistently. How can you not have time? But you have been doing this, so you need accountability. I just saw this quote which I liked. I don't have the specific details, but it say when you have a goal and you write it down, you increase your chances by 37% of achieving that. But when you share it with somebody else, you increase your chances by 71%. And that was amazing for me because the accountability helps. Even sometimes you're not doing it for you, but you're like, I don't have to go and give excuses again. So it helps you move forward. And then with your accountability, set days for reviews, personal reviews, weekly reviews. I love Sundays for my weekly reviews so that I can look back and say, what was happening in this week? Why didn't I achieve the things I wanted to achieve? Just assess your week so that you can do better in the week. It's hard to assess a whole year and say you do better over a whole year. But every week you can just make some tweaks and you'll be able to make some progress, right? So it's better to review in a shorter period of time than to wait for 6 months to do a review. So do weekly reviews, do monthly reviews, do quarterly, do annual reviews. They'll help you, but get into the habit of stopping and reviewing your progress towards the goal that you've set, which is knowing your purpose and working in it. In the end, it is really up to you to say whether you just want to live an average life, which is fine, or you're like, I want to achieve that thing that is in my heart. Everybody has that thing in their heart, that thing that they wish they could have done it. If you had some sort of magic to make something happen, you'd be like, I want to make that happen. I want to be a top singer. I want to be a top actress. Oh, I want to build these orphanages and whatever. You have that thing. And those things are not random. Because sometimes we belittle it and think, hey, this is just me being a dreamer. No, those things are not random. Every conviction you get and that you can't shake off over time, that is God tugging on your heart to say, I made you to do these things. I made you to do these things. And we ignore it and we go to normal life. We're like, hey, the dreams aside, let's do normal life. You miss out on your opportunities for fulfillment, opportunities for wealth and impact because you ignore those things that come from deep within. So don't ignore it. Be intentional and say, I will seek out my purpose. I will not rest till I find it. I'm not saying quit your job. I'm not saying stop your business. What I'm saying is just make sure you make time, give time to this purpose search so that you can position yourself right in whatever space you're operating in. The good thing about purpose is if you're operating in it, there'll be some effortless progress that will be made because you're just in the right lane. All right. So I hope this was helpful for you. And if you want to get deeper into understanding your purpose, I have an amazing purpose masterclass. It will help you understand, it will give you practical tools for uncovering your purpose so that you can then build life intentionally. And if you want to connect on social, please check me out. Memphis Tandizokanjadza all over social. I'd love to connect with you. There'll be links in the description for that. If you want more resources on knowing your purpose, da, 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 they have them there and you can check them out and they will really empower you and enable you to move forward. I'm here every Tuesday with a video and every Thursday with a podcast. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.